Alright, so here is a Zenith model Bravo, B is in Bravo, 835E is in Echo. This is a 8-tube AM/FM set. And from my best recollection, I can tell it's either from 58 or 56. It looks like it's got a 56 date code on it, but I'm not sure. This would probably not have been an export model because it does have the civil defense markings on it for the time, so that would be correct for a US model. Again, this is an 8-tube set. Missing the knob, it's broken off. I don't have the knob, so you know, that's just the way it is. That's just the way I got it. We'll have to see if we can find one or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, it's not in the best shape. Some of that faux finish is coming off the top of it, and whatever. But anyway, this is the way I got it. This is another one of the radios from the guy that had dementia. This is one that I forgot about that I had. It's a ring radio, Zenith ring style radio. I have 2 more of these and this one, so that would be 3. So I actually had 6 of these. I thought I had 5, but I've got 5 Bakelite ones, and then I've got this one wooden one here. Anyway, turned on the set. It's completely dead. There's nothing happening, and to be honest with you, I'm not even sure anything's getting any power. So, with these radios that I've gotten from this guy, the first thing I like to do is check the tubes. I like to verify that it has all the tubes, and then second of all, I like to verify they are the correct tubes and they are plugged in the correct spot, because just about every one of these radios, I think actually every one of these radios that I've gotten, there's usually something wrong with the tubes. It either doesn't have them, or they're plugged in the wrong spot, or they're the wrong tubes in the wrong slot that don't even go inside the radio. So let's check that. I don't know if you can see this because it's kind of crooked, but looks like we have a 6BJ6 right over here by the tuner. This is the tuner. And then we have a 12AT7, a 6AB8 or 6AB4, 12BA6, another 12BA6, these are IFs, a 12AU6, a 19T8 for the FM, and then we've got a 35C5 audio output tube. So let's see what we got in the radio. Alright, so it's kind of crusty looking back here. It's spider webs and dust and all that. Looks like we have all the correct tubes here. We got the, see, a 12AT6, I believe, and then we've got the 6BJ6 and the 6BA4 here. And then we've got the 12BA6, and then this is where we start to get wrong here. This is a 12BA6, I believe. Yeah, 12BA6 is supposed to be a 12AU6. And then, I don't know if you can... I'll accidentally cancel the recording, but anyway, right back here we're supposed to have a 19T8. There's nothing in there. And then that's the 35C5 back there, I believe. And yes, that is a 35C5. Alright, so I rigged up a cheater cord on this thing, because I wasn't swearing that thing was making contact. It fit in there very loosely. So anyway, it's on. We're only pulling 0.0708 amps, so I don't think there's any action going on. I don't see anything lighting up in here. The only thing I see is that little light bulb over here. Like it's almost like that little fluorescent bulb. You can see it right there. And that's all I see happening. I don't see any tubes lighting up. I don't hear any activity. Alright, so we need to see if I'm getting any voltage at all. If you can see that meter or not, or whatever. Let's see. Alright, so it's plugged into the wall, but I don't know if you can see that reading. I'm not getting anything from the cord itself. Volts AC, I'm not really getting a reading. See if I can kind of back you up a little bit. Maybe you can see that a little bit better. Let's glare off of it. And I'll tell you what, that thing's just going to have a glare no matter what, huh? So, anyway, I'm connecting that straight on the wires that come from the jack on the back of the radio. That should be about 120 volts AC. I'm getting nothing basically, so looks like we've got an issue with this cord. Somebody's put this on here, so this could be the issue, or it could be just a bad cord itself. Don't know, but we're gonna have to figure that out. We're not getting any AC voltage into the set, at least with that cord. Now I've got a cheater cord that I was using a minute ago that I shoved in the back of the radio. So I guess I can use this for now, and we'll figure that out later. Alright, so I got this cheater cord hooked up. Turn that back on. See if I can give y'all a view of what I'm doing here. See, that's already grounded to the chassis. So so we're on DC. Okay, so I'm getting 121 volts out of this selenium rectifier, so that should be enough to power the set on. But I'm still not getting anything. Now this light is working, that little fluorescent light. This seems to be working like it was earlier with the cheater cord, but I'm not getting any action. So I think that, and I don't see any of the tube filaments lighting up either. So I'm gonna pull the tubes out and check the filaments on them and ohm them out and see if we got an open. That could possibly be causing us not to have any anything going on. Alright, so well, we found a problem. Don't know if it's the problem, but we found a problem. We got this 6AB4 tube here, and 3 and 4 is the filament in here, and this thing is open. Wide open, so that's no good. So we can start here. Alright, so after going through a whole bunch of tubes, I didn't have this tube, so I had to order it. So anyway, we just got this in the mail, and so let's put this in the radio and see what happens. Alright, got it put in the set. I'm waiting on it to warm up. See what happens. See if we get any activity. Oh, here's static. That's a good sign. Yep, it's working. It's on FM.
Very true. So on. That's 3098.
Now, I'm not sure what made it blow the tube. It could be something going on inside the radio, or, you know, who knows. I mean, you know, I have no idea what this radio went through before I got it. But I will say this radio didn't look like it had been monkey with too much. It was missing the 19 T8 tube. I had to replace that. The slot was empty, so I put that in there. But other than that, it looked like it's pretty much hadn't been messed with, so that's a good thing. Up underneath the chassis, it's pretty much all original. See if I can tip it up and show you. By the way, it's a couple of days later, so I don't remember if I showed you this before on the previous clip of the video or not. So looks like we got a bumblebee cap that needs to go. This definitely looks like a little bit later, probably a little bit later production in the radio is what I'm guessing. But I guess those little bumblebee caps, they had those from throughout the 50s. So yeah, that's going to need to be replaced, because those are like a little bombs waiting to go off. But yeah, we'll probably replace a couple of those little paper caps I got in there. Looks like there's 2 up there and 2 or 3 down here. Looks like 3 down here. The rest of them are pretty much mostly disc, so those usually don't give trouble. So we'll have to check that selenium rectifier and see if that needs to be replaced. And after the last 2 videos, I got so much complaining about me using a new old stock selenium rectifier. You know, the way you know, people was like, you need to use a diode and a resistor. It works just fine. Well, I understand that works just fine. I've done plenty of them. I got plenty of videos of me replacing selenium rectifiers with diodes. I've done it a bunch of times, and I've got a bunch of videos on it. So I'm very well aware of that. But I also am aware that I got a brand new selenium rectifier sitting over here in a drawer, and there's nothing wrong with it. And if the first one lasted 70 years, well, I guess the next one could last at least 40 years, and I don't think that's an issue. I mean, if you get 40 years out of a selenium rectifier, you're doing pretty good. Alright, moving on. I need to try to restring this the dial pointer mechanism over here in the middle of the speaker. That string is hanging down, and I guess I need to restring that. Alright, so monitoring the radios. Let me get that off that copyrighted crap. So I've been monitoring the voltage of the radio. You power it up, it's about 130 volts, and then it drops off to 105, but then it steadily keeps dropping. If you let it run, it will end up, this will drop down to about 90 volts, and then the radio station will start dropping off, and it'll pretty much drop out. So this is going to need a rectifier. The selenium is dead in this thing. So we're going to have to replace that selenium rectifier with a diode and a dropping resistor. Alright, so after running about 5-10 minutes, it's leveled off to about 85 volts, which is way too low. This should be around 120 to 130 volts. So yeah, this selenium rectifier definitely needs to go. Alright, so just in case y'all are wondering what I use for diodes, I use the NTE 125s. Alright, you want to make sure you're hooking your diode up the correct way. So you want to have your line coming in the anode side, and you want the cathode side, which is the band, you want that towards the radio circuitry that you're powering. Don't do it the other way, or you'll have a nice explosion. Alright, so I got the radio playing. Been playing for about 5-10 minutes, and voltage just leveled off to about 123, 124. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. That's a 51 ohm resistor that I've got clipped in line there. And by the way, that's with about 120 volts in. Alright, so as luck would have it, I put this thing all back in the cabinet, and now the dial cord is slipping. It'll go this way, but it won't go that way. So I'm going to have to take it apart and either tighten that up or figure out what's going on with it and fix it. Well, after taking it apart and running it back and forth a couple of times, it seems to work okay now. It would get stuck going about halfway up this way, but now it's all the way to the end. It's firm on there, and this is not really all that loose. Slips a little bit going back down, but now it's all the way down, and it's all the way up now. The slug tuning for the FM and the tuning capacitor and all that, it's moving okay. It's actually got tension on it, even though I'm turning it. It's basically stuck and it's not slipping because it's, of course, at the end of its travel, but that gives you an idea of how tight it is, and it's fine. So I don't know. See, like, you can turn it all the way till it stops, but then it slips a little bit, but that's it getting tight over here. So I think that'll be fine. I don't know. All I did was just run it up, and then when it started slipping, I grabbed this and twisted it all the way to the end of its travel, and ever since then it's been fine. So I guess I don't know. It just needed attention. Who knows? Alright, so we got it back together. I think I've got this string figured out. I had to take a wind out of it and tighten it down. It seems to be doing okay, so hopefully this will get it. So anyway, we're on the lower part of the FM band. Scan around, just show you it's working. Can't really spend a whole lot of time on the copyrighted stuff, so, for obvious reasons.
Live in this country today and not even know what only Christ can make you free. He alone today can make you free. Somebody says, well, how do you get...
That's pretty clear. This is a little bit later radio. I think it's 55, 56 or something like that, because it's got the FM AFC on it, whereas the earlier models didn't have that.
And its ultimate goal is to prohibit what he's drinking. Now you thinking about coming over tonight.
It's aggressive. Hold around borders. It's planted by veterans. Start plugging.
Okay, so over to AM. Not sure if I have the wire antenna hooked up or not.
Really knew the Lord, and that's
Alright, we're on AM here.
Some Sunday school teacher.
Well, 1340 is back on, but 1290 is just... I don't even think the company that owns that station realizes it's off the air. That's how bad things are around here.
On the way in the Scorpions as well right now.
There's 970. It's about 30 miles away, so doing pretty decent. It's just the daytime, it's not at night. So get it off that copyright stuff. That's the Hispanic station about 45 miles away. It's kind of staticky. Stuff not really coming in very good. We got a storm moving through so today, and like I said, it's during the daytime, so the skip's not in here. Alright, well, that's about it. Not a whole lot on AM around here during the daytime when conditions aren't all that great. So anyway, well, that's it going again. Our I guess this is like about a 56 model Zenith. What is this, like a 835? Let's see, it's a B as in Bravo 835 Echo. Tube radio, AM FM, going again. Had some failing components, but we got that problem figured out, and so now she's playing again. Thanks for watching.